So, like, seeing this inverted, weird. I don't like that. That's weird. Oh. Okay. I'm gonna wait for everyone to get here and I'm gonna fix the lighting because it's disgusting. Okay. Are we all here? Is everyone here? I'm fucking annoyed, okay? So, we're gonna get into this. I'm gonna wait for everyone to get here. And I'm gonna go get my lipstick. Because my lips don't exist right now. So, give me a sec. I'm having girl issues. Okay. Are we all here? Fuck. That's a lot of people. Okay. Hi. The lighting is still subpar. And I'm gonna fix that because it's... I want this to not look gross when I stream. And, okay, right. Okay. Let's get into the tea. And it's really annoying because I'm inverted on my screen. And I don't know why, but I'm just gonna have to stream like this. So, Godwinson. Now, I've had a lot of alcohol. Which is here. So, I'm having my own boxed wine. And I thought that I would talk about what the fuck has been going on. And as you can see, I'm in a better state than some people manage to be when streaming. Interesting, right? It's so interesting how you can drink boxed wine and not be a complete fucking state on your channel, right? Isn't that interesting? She looks like Eugenia Cooney. I am still on radiation treatment, but my arms are not as bad as they used to be. So that's good, right? We're making progress with the radiation treatment. I'm inverted on my screen, so it's really annoying. I can't see myself how I should be. So, we're gonna get into this. Right, chat is covering my screen. That is so fucking annoying. Anyway, I don't know why I'm inverted and it's gonna annoy me forever. So, focus. Here's my fucking issue. And I'm gonna explain this in the best way I can. I am not avowing Kiwi Farms. I am not avowing Josh. I have never fucking said that I agree with Joshua Moon or Kiwi Farms and that I defend the Kiwi Farms. I have never fucking said that ever. For some fucking reason, Godwinson took my post on Twitter to mean that I stand up for Janny Juice, okay? Which I don't. Which I absolutely don't. But for some fucking reason, this man cannot get it into his head that I have never said the words, I stand with Kiwi Farms. Never fucking said that. So, for some reason, I have to actually explain this to everyone. I have to literally go live and tell everyone that I don't stand for Kiwi Farms because some nutcase man on the internet has taken my neutral statement to mean that I'm avowing Janny Josh. And I'm fucking annoyed. So we're gonna talk about this now, and I'm not gonna read chat until I've said what I have to say, or I'm never gonna fucking get this across, okay? I'm drunk. Cheers. This is vodka and Coca-Cola. I'm gonna get continuously drunk throughout this fucking video, okay? So, because I have to be, right? So we're gonna get into this. I'm a little less boring than usual, because I'm drunk. So let's get into it. I have been witnessing all of the shit with Nick Fuentes and America First, and as we all fucking know, America First is disgusting, Nick is a pedophile, Ali Alexander's a pedophile, the whole of America First are probably pedophiles. I think we can all agree on that, right? That's pretty fucking obvious, right? But somewhere along in that whole arc, Ralph and Josh made up. Even Ralph and Joshua Moon of Kiwi Farms made up. And it makes sense, in my opinion, that they made up, because at the end of the fucking day, they all don't like this group of pedophiles, understandably, because who the fuck does, right? So they were like, why do we hate each other when we can all hate this group of pedophiles? And I'm like, yeah, that makes sense, right? So I was watching everything that was going on. I was seeing that even Ralph hates all of the America First pedophiles, and so does Josh, and they decided to make up with each other because they all hate the same group of pedophiles, right? But for some reason, Godwinson took massive issue with Josh being part of the amnesty. So let me explain what I mean by the amnesty, right? So because everyone had realised and been showed evidence of America First being fucking pedophiles, everyone had decided to disavow America First and to come together in their hatred for this massive group of pedophiles. And that made sense to me because at the end of the fucking day, let's be honest, we have bigger problems than each other right now. There's a huge group of fucking pedophiles, right? But everyone took part of the fucking amnesty, apart from Godwinson, who decided that the thing that was more important than calling out this group of government-connected pedophiles was his hatred for the owner of Kiwi Farms. Apparently, that's more important than calling out this group of pedophiles. Apparently, Godwinson's personal fucking hatred of Janny Josh is more important than taking down America First. Because that's the fucking vibe I'm getting. I don't know about any of you. That's the vibe I'm getting. So, if you've been keeping up to date with Godwinson's Twitter, every single fucking post is about Joshua Moon. Every fucking post. Every post is like, ha ha ha, Janny Josh lost his website. Ha ha ha, Janny Josh lost his YouTube channel. Ha ha ha, Janny Josh whatever. And it's like, look, I get it, the man's a fucking loser, right? I think we can all agree Joshua Moon is a bit of a loser. Let's be honest. Bit of a loser, right? But at the same time, there's only so many fucking posts I can see from Godwinson about Janny Josh before I turn around and I think, whoa, man, maybe, right? Just a fucking thought, Godwinson. Maybe we should focus on something other than Janny Josh for just a fucking week. So I had been seeing a lot of stuff going on. A lot of stuff. And some of the other shit that I'd been seeing going on is because Ralph and Josh made up, which is completely fine. They are grown men. They are grown-ass men. They are allowed to be friends with who they want to be friends with. I don't know why everyone here decided that they have a fucking say in who grown-ass men befriend on the internet. It is up to absolutely none of you. I am just saying, I don't know why this is anyone's fucking business. Like, look, I'm not Josh's biggest fan. But grown-ass men can be friends with whoever the fuck they want to be friends with. And I don't understand why that became up for debate on the internet. So, I said, right, here's my statement, my neutral statement. And basically, I explained that, that my friends, like Godwinson, like Ralph, and like King of Pole, Ralph is friends with Josh now. King of Poland Godwinson hate him. And that puts me in an awkward position because I believe that as much as Kiwi Farms has done wrong to me, at the end of the fucking day, I forged a bunch of deepfakes of myself with shock factor content to try and make Kiwi Farms more reportable. I sat on Photoshop for 17 hours so that I could get Kiwi Farms banned from Cloudflare. I did that, right? And I'm gonna admit it. But I can't say that I've been a victim of Kiwi Farms anymore after the amount of sheer fucking attacks that I have done. It would be so disingenuous if I turned around and I said I did nothing wrong, okay? So I said in my Twitter post, after everything that I have done to Kiwi Farms, I can't say that it's all just Kiwi Farms. I can't say that this is half of one and... What was it? I'm too drunk to remember the saying. 6 of one and half a dozen of the other. I can't say that. I can't say that anymore because of the shit that I've done. And so I am going to take this position on Kiwi Farms where I say, look, I don't agree with everything they do, but I'm not drop Kiwi Farms by any means, okay? I said that. My post, in nowhere in my post did I say I support Joshua Moon, I support Kiwi Farms, never did I fucking say that in my post. There was not one bit of my post where I said I was in support of Kiwi Farms. But apparently Godwinson took my post to mean I support Janny Josh. I love Janny Josh. I love all his users, all of the people that defamed me. Yeah, slay. I totally stand for Kiwi Farms. He took that post to mean, for some reason, that I was a supporter of Joshua Moon. I have fucking no idea how he read my Twitter post and thought, she must really support Josh. How did he take that and get from it that I support Josh? I don't know, okay? So I said to him, well, I didn't say anything because he blocked me. He blocked me. Godwinson blocked me, but this gets better, okay? He didn't just block my Twitter. No. He blocked me on everything that I had him added on. He blocked me on Discord, WhatsApp. He even blocked my phone number. He blocked my Telegram. And I'm thinking, this over a fucking tweet, a tweet where I said I was neutral in regards to Kiwi Farms. Apparently, that entails me getting blocked across every platform I've ever spoken to this man on. He even blocked my sock. I didn't even know he knew that was me. And he blocked my sock. So I basically turned around and I'm like, you are unstable, man. You're fucking unstable. I think that's a fair assessment, right? Imagine you said on social media, I am neutral towards a website, and someone that you are really good friends with turns around and blocks you across the board. Right? Is that not unstable behavior? I think that's unstable behavior. I'm pretty sure that's fucking unstable. So I was just like, what a fucking nutcase. What a nutcase. So it gets better than this. I couldn't see what he'd replied to my tweet because I was blocked. So I don't know why he bothered to reply to my tweet and then block me. So, because I couldn't even see what he'd said if he'd blocked me. So I went onto my sock, because we all have socks, don't we? We all have 100 Twitter accounts. Maybe that's just me, but I like to think everyone is as crazy as I am. And I checked his Twitter, and he replied with, "You are dropped." Dropped? From what? Like, what am I dropped from? Am I banned from the internet because I don't want to drop Kiwi Farms? Am I banned from, like, the like, Kino Dogme community? Like, is that the thing? Am I banned from life because I'm neutral towards Kiwi Farms? Is that the thing? Is that where we're going with this? So he then said, you can write essays about Janny Juice. And the whole point of what I'd written on Twitter was that it wasn't an essay about Josh. It was about my stance in relation to the fact that multiple of my friends are friends with Josh, but also hate Josh, and that puts me in a hard position. None of it was about direct support for Joshua Moon. But Godwinson took that as a personal slight, despite the fact he wasn't even mentioned in a tweet. I'd never even fucking said that I support Kiwi Farms. And Godwinson took my tweet as a personal offence and blocked me on everything, including my phone number. So I was like, that is insane. Because I just want to let you guys know that I phoned him, that I've been on call with him 2 days ago. I was on call with him 2 days ago. I was on the phone with Godwinson 2 days ago, and I said to him, what do you think about the fact that Ralph and Josh made up? And Godwinson said, word for word, I don't really care. It's not that important. It doesn't mean anything to me. I don't really care. So I thought in my mind, right, that Ralph being friends with Josh wasn't that big of a deal. Like, he said to me it wasn't that big of a deal. So I was like, okay, so if I say I'm neutral towards Kiwi Farms, surely it won't be that big of a deal, right? Considering Godwinson doesn't care that Ethan Ralph is friends with Josh, why would it be a problem if I said I was neutral towards Kiwi Farms? Because he said that to me on the phone. Like, forgive me for listening to what you said verbatim and assuming you weren't talking out your asshole. I'm sorry, Adam. Usually I assume people aren't lying to me when I talk to them. So I decided to say that I was neutral. And let me explain why I'm neutral towards Kiwi Farms. Number one, I don't care enough to hate them. I'm sorry, but out of all the fucking issues in the world, a fat man in Serbia is really not my priority. Number two, I literally forged hundreds of deepfakes so that I would have content to report to ISPs, to internet providers. Number three, let's fucking face it, I have been by numerous slightly unethical happenings in the sector. And I think we all know what those are. I think we all know my stance on doxing and hacking. And number four, right? It's been going on for so long, this war with Kiwi Farms, that I no longer fucking care. I can't care about something for fucking 3 years. I'm sorry, but I've been at war with Josh for 3 years. I got him dropped from Cloudflare. I got him dropped from FiberHub. I have all the emails for this. I got him dropped from Vanwa Tech, Epic. There is so fucking much said that I've done that I can't really be like, yeah, no, I'm innocent. I'm just a victim of like harassment. I can't say that anymore. So because I can't say that anymore, I cannot fucking say, word for word, I can't say that I'm innocent, okay? I'm not going to say I'm innocent and I did nothing wrong, because I'm not. I'm not a victim and I didn't do anything wrong. I've done didn't do anything wrong. I'm not a victim. I've done fucked up shit. I've done numerous things that were like very, very, very debatable and controversial. I mean, I think pretty much people can tell. There's numerous things that have been mentioned. I mean, Post, Chud Buds, Kengel getting swatted. Just a few things I've been accused of, okay? I am not going to say I am a victim, because I'm not a victim. I am absolutely not saying I'm a victim. So because I can't say that I'm a victim, I cannot say it was all Kiwi Farms. I can't say verbatim that Kiwi Farms were responsible for everything and I did nothing wrong. I can't say that, it's okay? So because I can't say that, I'm not going to say that it was all them. I'm not going to turn around, I'm not going to lie, and I'm not going to say it was all Kiwi Farms' fault. Because at the end of the day, I did my fair share of evil shit too. So what I am saying is, because of the amount of attacks done from both sides, I no longer want to continue this stupid sort of war with Kiwi Farms, because sort of at this point, we've sort of done our fair share of damage to each other. And in my opinion, we're sort of all in the wrong. So I'm not really going to sit here and say, oh yeah, no, I'd love to continue my fight with Janny Josh for another 3 years. Yeah, give me some of that. Because that sounds... That's just gay. I am not spending another 2 years of my fucking life at war with Kiwi Farms. I'm not doing that, okay? I'm not spending 2 years of my life at war with Kiwi Farms. I don't care. I don't like Josh. I'm not obsessed with Josh. I don't agree with a lot of stuff on Kiwi Farms. But I don't care enough to dedicate 2 years of my life to A-logging Joshua Moon. I don't care. And all of you constantly say, Josh is a sociopath, Josh has ASPD, all of this stuff, okay? If that's the case, Josh doesn't care about any of the stuff people say about him. So why the fuck would it make sense for me to turn around and to, like, spend another 2 years of my life A-logging someone who doesn't give a fuck about me? That wouldn't make fucking sense. So I said to Godwinson over text message, I had to use another number, obviously, because he's blocked me across the board for a neutral stance, apparently. I said to Godwinson, this is, like, unstable. Like, this is unstable as fuck. I don't care enough to go to war with Josh. And the other thing that I want to point out is Godwinson is fine with the fact that Ethan Ralph is friends with Josh. Godwinson has no problem with Ethan Ralph being friends with Josh. No issue. But apparently me being neutral towards Kiwi Farms is an issue. So it's fine when Ralph does it, but it's not okay when I do it. Even though, not to mention the fact that I'm not even friends with Josh. Apparently, me merely saying I don't want to attack Kiwi Farms is a personal slight against the Kino Dogme 2007. What a fucking nutcase. And look, everyone here is saying stuff like, everyone here is saying, oh, well, you know, well, you're supporting Josh or me for Josh. If you read the post on Twitter, which I think has probably been reported by now, because I got several strikes earlier, I said that I don't know what I think, considering multiple of my friends support Josh, but multiple of my friends hate Josh. It puts me in a difficult position because I want to support Ralph. I've always supported Ralph. And I also want to support people like King of Pol and Godwinson. I want to do that. But at the same time, I don't want to fuck over Ralph by just shitting on Josh all day. So I said I'm in a position that's difficult. I've also done my fair share of fucked up stuff to Kiwi Farms. You can see in my recent photo there are no scars on my thighs. Everyone knows that the deepfakes were probably made by me. So I'm not going to say I haven't done fucked up shit, because I sat there making content that I could report to providers, okay? I'm not saying I'm innocent. But at the same time, that being said, I really think there's a lot more bigger things to worry about than Kiwi Farms. I mean, we have Nick Fuentes out here literally using people like Ali Alexander to molest children. Can we just focus on the fact that America First are out here getting, you know, literally taking in people that they can use to attack kids? Can we just... I think there are bigger things to worry about right now than you know, Janny Josh. I mean, I'm sorry, I have bigger issues. We all have bigger issues than a fat man in Serbia. I'm just gonna say it. I'm sorry. It's just annoying. I also want to say something about the fact that Godwinson was friends with Joshua Moon and PPP and did streams with them shitting on Ethan Ralph before Josh turned around one day and disavowed Godwinson, admittedly for a fucking stupid reason. That's another thing I want to touch on briefly. Josh is convinced that Godwinson and Zoom are best friends because Zoom called into Godwinson's show. I just want to point out that that's fucking insane, right? Like, can we just admit that it's insane? Because I'm sorry, but loads of people called into my last stream that I didn't know. And that doesn't mean that I'm friends with all of them. But Josh thinks that because Zoom called in to Godwinson's show and gave him content to talk about, that means they are friends. Let me just say something quickly in case any Kiwis or Josh is watching. Zoom and Godwinson are not friends. Fucking Zoom called into Godwinson's show because he calls into everyone's show. And the other thing I want to fucking point out is that at the end of the day, we all know that content prevails. So when it comes to content, it doesn't really matter who it's from. And I can fucking say for sure that Godwinson has basically little idea on who Zoom is. He barely knows his lore. Godwinson hasn't read his own thread, let alone anyone else's. So I don't know why everyone assumes that because Zoom called into Godwinson's show, that means they're best friends. Because they are not. They don't know each other, right? It's just that Josh took that to mean that they have this friendship and that it was planned that Zoom would call in and give Godwinson content, which is just insane. So Josh disavowed Godwinson, and since then, Godwinson has been posting non-stop about Josh. At first it was funny, now it's just annoying. So I said, I think we have bigger problems than Janny, Josh and Kiwi Farms. I'm sorry, but we have America First out here raping kids, and everyone wants to fucking go on about some fat man in Serbia. I don't care enough. I don't care. So I also want to give you an insight into who Godwinson is. When he calls me, he says the same thing every fucking time. Every time, without fucking fail on the phone. Every fucking time. He always says, I keep my online life really separate from my IRL life. Like, it's really separate. He always says to me that he keeps his real life very separate from his sector stuff. And I'm sorry, in the nicest way fucking possible, I don't believe that. The reason I don't believe that is because at the end of the fucking day, as soon as I said a neutral statement in regards to a website, he blocked me across the board. So I don't really understand how separate things can... He says to me like, oh, it doesn't matter... It doesn't matter the you know, Ralph and Josh are friends again, none of this really matters. But he blocked me on WhatsApp and my phone number over the fact that I made a neutral statement towards Kiwi Farms. Apparently that was enough to warrant a block from the man who says the IRL stuff isn't that important to him. I'm sorry, at the end of the day, if you're fucking blocking people because they are neutral towards someone you dislike, yes, it does matter to you. Let's fucking face it. Sorry, I'm gonna get progressively drunker as this continues. So, let me say it. I don't support Kiwi Farms, but I don't not support Kiwi Farms. I don't care enough about Kiwi Farms either way. I know people like to say that like I'm in love with Josh, but I haven't thought about Josh for like a year, apart from when his name comes up in sector stuff. I'm serious. I mean, you know, you can see in my recent Twitter that my thighs aren't scarred, and by that conclusion can probably realize that the majority of the content wasn't legitimate. I'm not saying if this ever gets shown in court, I'm not saying I 100% made the deepfakes, but what I will say is that the content isn't real. So the only reason that content was posted was for the sake of reporting Kiwi Farms to hosting providers. But that being said, my view on Josh is just very much that he is a bit of a nuisance. He's obviously very defiant. And he's just sort of another fucking person in the sector, in my opinion. I talk about him like I talk about Gator and everyone else. But at the same time, there's only so many tweets I can see from Godwinson about Josh before I'm like, look, man, no one cares. Can we please just for 1 minute focus on America first? The other thing is, I think it's a bit snaky to Ralph, okay? The only reason that I went neutral on Kiwi Farms is because I don't think it's very... If I was Ralph and I saw a lot of people shitting on my friend and a lot of people saying stuff like Godwinson says about Josh, I wouldn't be very happy, okay? And it's really difficult for me to look at that stuff and say Godwinson supports Ralph when Godwinson's out here attacking his friends. It all just feels a little bit like a snake fest, you know? So I was literally saying, look, Ralph, I support you and who you want to be friends with. I don't support or not support Josh. But that being said, I don't want to spend all day feuding with him. I really need to piss. So I'm I'm sorry. I've tried to not end this stream, but I'm gonna pause it a second because otherwise I'm gonna die. So give me a sec. I should probably mute this. Oh God. Alcohol's wild, isn't it? Where's the mute button? Sorry. So anyway, my issue is that Godwinson is putting his hatred of Josh above America First, above supporting Ralph, above everything else. His hatred of Janny and Josh comes first. And that's my problem. I know I ran. My problem is that I don't think that hating Janny Josh is more important than everything else right now. And I did wash my hands. And the thing is, okay, I am always someone that's in a really shit position because I don't have like a huge army of people behind me like even Ralph does, like Godwinson does. And when I say things, like ultimately I'm the one that fucking has the biggest fallout because at the end of the day, it's awkward because I'm not as well liked as these other people, okay? I don't have like a huge website like Josh does. I don't have a huge audience like Ralph does. I don't have people that will always stand behind me like Godwinson does. But at the same time, as far as I see it, I always do stand by what I think about things. And I'm not going to turn around and say, yeah, no, let's spend all day A-logging Josh when America First are literally molesting children. Let's spend all day A-logging Josh because that's way more important right now. That just feels delusional. And the thing with Godwinson is, I think that he's saying that he's supporting Ralph, but it's a little bit difficult for me to believe that when he's out here prioritizing his hatred of Josh over what the fuck Nick Fuentes is doing. So the thing is, I really do support I do support Ralph in everything he does. I don't know how intelligent of a decision it is for him to befriend Josh because I know that relationship is going to be awkward, because after all the stuff that Josh and Ralph have done to each other, I think that they're either gonna be able to work through it, or they are going to end up arch enemies. But at the end of the day, I think we can all agree that what America First is doing and the stuff they are doing in relation to children takes way more priority than Godwinson's personal hatred of Josh. And the thing is about Godwinson is he did ketamine on his recent live video, and he just came back completely fucked up. Okay? And look, I've had like a good quarter of a bottle of vodka, and I'm still able to stream without going insane. In the nicest way possible. Sorry, man, but like, how is it that you can't manage a few lines of ketamine without going fucking nuts? Like, it's not that difficult to get fucked up on stream and manage to continue the stream. So, as far as I consider it, it's like, I was a bit confused as to when Godwinson said, like, you're dropped. What am I dropped from? I just want to point out, it was me that brought Godwinson back to the sector. He wanted to leave. It was me that was on the phone with him saying, it's okay, you should come back. Just maybe don't talk to those insects that are using you. That was me. It was me who said, you should come back to the sector and stop talking to the people that are bringing you down and that are snakes. That was me. And he turns around and he goes, I'm going to disavow her because she's neutral towards Kiwi Farms. It was me that has been here, being the victim of them falsely accusing me of posting CP on a website owned by a groomer who is a pedophile. Let's just admit, Trollcow Farm hosts multiple threads on children, and Kiwi Farms accused me of spamming CP on there. And I still managed to move past it. It was me that was the victim of just endless fucking sexual harassment. People saying they'd rape me. People uploading child porn of me. All of that shit, right? And if I decide that I'm neutral towards that website, that is entirely my decision. That is not anyone else's problem. At the end of the day, it was me that was attacked and not you. So Godwinson turning around and being like, yeah, no, I'm disavowing her over this. Why don't you disavow everyone else that made up with Kiwi Farms too? Disavow Ethan, Godwinson. Because at the end of the day, Ethan Ralph also made up with Kiwi Farms. So why is it okay when Ralph does it but not when I do it? I just want to fucking know. Oh no, I know why it's okay when Ralph does it. Because Ralph has loads of followers. Godwinson can get clout, right? So when Ralph avows Kiwi Farms, that's fine. Because Godwinson thinks he's going to be made co-host on the kill stream, right? So it's absolutely fine when Ralph does it. But not when I do it. Because I don't have thousands of followers. But like when Ralph avows Kiwi Farms, no, that's fine. That's fine in Godwinson's eyes, because he can monetize off that and he can get clout off that. Here's something else I want to fucking point out, because no one else seems to know this. When he joined Cozy, Godwinson had a contract with Nick Fuentes, and Nick Fuentes paid him to stream on Cozy. He paid him to stream on Cozy. Nick Fuentes gave Godwinson money, right? And suddenly when Ethan Ralph turns around and he goes, I don't like Nick Fuentes, Godwinson goes, oh, no, me too, bro. Godwinson has a fucking contract. He has a contract where he has to support Fuentes. Yet he turned around and said, I don't support Fuentes because Ralph doesn't. You know why? Because Ralph has loads of followers. Godwinson thinks that if he turns around and says, no, I disavow him too, that he's going to get like, you know, he's going to be the new Gator. He's going to be the new co-host on the kill stream. Because that's totally what's going to happen, right? And so Godwinson thinks that if he sits there and he slags off Janny Josh, and if he slags off Nick Fuentes, that Ethan Ralph will finally notice him. So when Ethan Ralph turned around and befriended Josh again, Godwinson didn't know what to do. Godwinson decided that he was going to spend the next few weeks only posting about about Joshua Moon. And then it just became fucking awkward, right? Because it's like, right, we have Nick out here raping kids, but like all Godwinson cares about is his hatred for Janny Josh. Because he got disavowed on Godwinson's live stream. Or Josh's I don't even know whose it was. But at the end of the fucking day, isn't it interesting, right? How Nick Fuentes paid Godwinson to stream on Cozy. But as soon as someone with, a lot of followers said that he doesn't support Nick Fuentes, Godwinson turned around and goes, "Oh, yeah, no, I don't support him either. Don't worry, Ralph. Please make me your new gator." I just think we all have to admit that Godwinson wants even Ralph's dick up his ass. Because that's what this is. Isn't it? Can we be honest? Can we be honest for a minute? Isn't it really funny that someone who is as big of a clout chaser as Godwinson, he supports Ralph over Nick Fuentes, he supports Ralph over Josh, he supports Ralph over PPP? Are we sure that Godwinson doesn't want to fuck Ralph? Because I think that's a general concern. I think that's a general hypothesis that Godwinson wants Ralph's dick up his ass. Because why is it that in every fucking IBS beef, in everything that happens in the sector, why is it that Adam really always wants to support Ralph? Are we sure that he isn't gay for Ralph? Are we sure? That's weird, right? It's weird because even when Ralph has fallen out with Godwinson's with Godwinson's friends, Godwinson still supports Ralph. That's interesting, isn't it? It's real interesting. But I don't think that it's two ways, otherwise he would be Gator by now. He would be the next Gator, but he isn't the next Gator. Instead, he's just someone sat on Twitter being like, "Hey everyone, I really hate Janny Josh. Please care about my movement. I'm going to block anyone who is even neutral towards Kiwi Farms." I think that's weird. I think it's really weird. Right now, I think it's great that Godwinson feels like he needs to fight Joshua Moon for Ralph's love. Why does Godwinson feel like that because Ralph and Josh are friends, he has to go to war with Josh? Isn't that funny? Because he went to war with Josh originally over me. Like, originally, when all this started, did he not notice that the majority of it was when he found out about me? So, because I didn't like Josh, and rightly so, because at the end of the day, Kiwi Farms had done a shit ton of stuff to me. At the end of the day, he went to war with Josh when I didn't like Josh. Which, to be fair, I agree, Josh has done fucked up stuff. At the same time, I don't want to spend the next 5 years of my life A-logging Joshua Moon. I have bigger things to worry about. So then, as soon as even Ralph doesn't like Josh, Godwinson goes, "Yeah, no, totally, me too, bro. I also don't like Josh. Because you don't like Josh. I also hate him." But it's kind of funny because whenever even Ralph does anything, Godwinson just follows behind, like a little dog. Like, in the nicest way possible. Why is it your problem, Godwinson? So I think it's really funny now that Godwinson is going on Twitter and saying stuff like, Janny Josh is a fag. Janny Josh got dropped. He lost his channel. But it's like, does anyone really care? So he's saying all this stuff, but meanwhile, Ethan Ralph is friends with Josh. So does Godwinson not realise that he is out here criticising his gay lovers, or who he wants to be his gay lover's new friend? Because that's what's happening. Godwinson's going out here saying all this stuff about Josh. Josh and Ralph made up, Godwinson. Like, if you're going to go and attack Josh, at a certain point, Ralph's not going to be okay with that, right? I don't know how okay I would be if someone went on Twitter and spent the next however many months attacking one of my friends. I don't know why Godwinson thinks this is the way to Ralph's heart. I like Ethan. I think Ethan Ralph is based as fuck. But at the same fucking time, okay, I just think it's funny that whenever Ethan does anything, Godwinson follows in his footsteps, like a little tag along, okay? Godwinson doesn't have his own personality, right? he is a gator. He is a gator for Ralph. Because at the end of the day, I think the only reason that Godwinson doesn't like Josh is because he thinks that if he gets rid of Josh, that he can save Ethan. That he thinks that Josh is bad for Ethan. He's such a bad influence on my lover, like, type of energy, okay? Like, that's weird. And that's kind of why he didn't like Josh originally with me. I think Godwinson thought that that Josh was competition. And he isn't, because I don't fucking like him, okay? I don't like Josh. I haven't thought about Josh apart from when other people bring him up or when I see sector stuff in like a year. But Godwinson thinks that people like Josh are like obstacles that we're standing there and are gonna get in between his relationship with Ethan Ralph. I think Godwinson thinks that Joshua Moon is the obstacle to being Ethan Ralph's next gator. Godwinson is convinced if he gets rid of Joshua Moon, he will become Ethan Ralph's next gator. And I'm sick of everyone pretending that this guy isn't a snake. Because here's something that people don't know. PPP and Ethan Ralph are still... PPP and Godwinson are still friends. They are still friends. To quote Godwinson, I am going to I'm going to Ashton's house, to his studio in the summer. They are still friends. So, sorry Gator, sorry Godwinson, I blew your secret. My bad. Whoops. They're still friends. They're still friends. It's all kayfabe. Sorry, guys. So, you know, for those of you who are interested in how much these e-celebs lie about everything on the internet, just bear in mind the fact that PPP and Godwinson are still friends, and that will tell you everything you need to know. My bad. And, I don't think that Godwinson and Josh are still friends. I don't think that they are. But I think it's very obvious about Godwinson's love of Ethan, because from everything he tells me, I do think he genuinely likes Ralph. But I also know that him and PPP are still friends. So that's funny. And I know people are going to say I'm a schizo and there's no proof and stuff, but you know what? Fuck you, because I've spoken to this man on the phone, and I know all of the stuff that he bullshits about on Twitter. So Ralph, just remember, Godwinson's still friends with PPP. Are you sure that's someone you want to keep around here? That Godwinson disavowed me because I was neutral to one of your friends, to Josh. And Godwinson said that Elaine's dropped. Elaine's disavowed. I'm disavowed because I'm neutral towards a website. But it's fine when Ethan does it, because you want his dick up your ass. Okay. So just for the record, PPP and Godwinson are still friends. Isn't that interesting? I can't believe I said that. Fuck. Fuck. Oh my god. So they are still friends, and they're meeting up in the summer. I don't know what we classify as the summer, because it's July, right? So they said they're meeting up at Ashton's studio. Ashton's studio. Okay. I also want want to call out some other lies. Godwinson posted on Twitter stuff like, here's what Godwinson said on the phone about PPP once. He said, Ashton's addiction is literally gonna drive him to death. And I was like, what addiction? He was like, food. He said that. And I was like, man, that's fucked. But bear in mind, this was like 2 weeks after Godwinson made a video about me. I don't know why he was telling me this. Like, I'm just wondering why 2 weeks after I made a video, Godwinson decided to tell me the biggest secret ever, that him and Ashton are still friends. So every single video, and then recently, you know, he also forgot all of that shit. He forgot he said all of that shit, because I called him recently and I said, oh, so what's like your opinion on PPP? And he goes, well, there's a ceasefire. He forgot that he told me he was still friends with Ashton, because he was drunk that time. So he called me and he goes, and he goes, yeah, no, there's like a friendly ceasefire. And I'm like, oh, so like 3 weeks ago when you said you were like fucking, you know, that you were going to Ashton's studio in the summer, I didn't say anything, but I was like, wow, did you forget that you told me that? So isn't that fucking interesting? Because when you when you go on his videos, he's out here watching these videos of Warski and PPP as if he isn't going to Ashton's studio in the summer. Apparently I'm disavowed for being neutral on Kiwi Farms. I feel like maybe Ethan Ralph should disavow Godwinson for being best friends with PPP and lying about it. Interesting, right? He also said about the Kino Casino and Josh, he was like, now that Josh doesn't have a website, no one cares about him. He said that the only reason the Kino Casino did streams with Josh was because Josh had a website. Now that Kiwi Farms is down, no one cares anymore. And I'm thinking, so all the times you spent snaking on Ralph for Josh, all of that was just because Josh had clout. Is that what I'm getting? Interesting, right? That's real interesting. I think it's kind of funny that Josh sees that Godwinson sees Josh as a threat to his love for Ethan Ralph. I'm sorry, Godwinson. I'm gonna say it here first. You're never gonna be the next Gator. Not as long as you're friends with PPP. I wish this wasn't on call, because I would have definitely screenshotted it. Now, here's the thing. I am someone who... Godwinson gave me a big opportunity in terms of streaming and in terms of recognition and in terms of people watching me in the sector. But I was still myself and I was still known by people before that. At the end of the day, I don't feel like I have to push anyone's narratives to do what I do. I don't want to feel like I have to be someone's puppet. Just because Godwinson hates Josh, just because he hates Kiwi Farms, that might be your thing, but I've let my friend go and I've let my shit with Josh go. And if you want to do that, that's fine. But I'm not going to push your narratives for you. I'm not going to push anyone's narratives for them. And if that's what they expect of me, that's fine, but they're not going to get it. Because at the end of the day, I'm not going to sit here and act as if like Joshua Moon and my hatred of Kiwi Farms is more important than America First being called out, because it isn't. And if Godwinson had any respect for Ethan Ralph, he would be prioritizing calling out Nick Fuentes over his hatred for Josh, who is now friends of Ralph. Every single time that Godwinson tweets saying how much he hates Josh, he is actively being a snake to Ralph, because Ralph made up with Josh. So Godwinson, if you give any shit about Ralph, maybe you'll turn around and you'll stop fucking out here attacking his friend, okay? I'm so drunk. I'm definitely gonna regret this. Okay. Whew. kumbaya. I'm gonna read chat for a minute. Okay, I don't know if Ralph and Josh are fully friends, but I know they made up, and from what I can see of Ralph tweeting stuff like YouTube fixed this after Joshua's channel was dropped, I think they might be friendly, because I don't know why you would tweet that for someone you're not friends with. Thank you, Zoom. I'll try to heal. Warski, Godwinson doesn't like Warski, I'll admit that, but he is still friends with PPP, and he's going to his studio this summer, whatever the fuck that means. Now, I'm gonna just say that that's what he said to me, okay? I'm not saying that that's true, because I don't know if Godwinson was lying, but that's what he said to me. He said, I'm going to Ashton's studio in the summer. That's what he said. And then he said, like, the thing is that the other day, I'm really confused, because I had like a 3-hour phone call with Godwinson the other day where I spoke about all of this, and I literally said to him, Godwinson, what do you think about the fact that even Ralph and Josh are friends? And Godwinson says he doesn't care. So when I said that I was neutral towards Kiwi Farms, because I'm sorry, Drop Kiwi Farms is fucking gay! Is gay! It's all fucking troons who are annoyed about being misgendered. I don't want to support that. If you support Drop Kiwi Farms, you are gay. If you support Kiwi Farms, you're also cringe, but at the same time, why can't there be any fucking sane, independent people? Why is everyone fucking cringe? Why do we need to be like, oh my god, Jenny Josh is our queen, dear feeder? Why do we have to be like that? But why do we also have to be like, hashtag drop Kiwi Farms, they misgendered like multiple trannies? Why do we have to be like either of those things? Why can't we just be an independent party that doesn't care? What is with all of this gay shit? Either way is gay, right? I don't know how long it's going to take for people to realize that like both Kiwi Farms and Drop Kiwi Farms are gay movements, and you don't have to support either. You can be your own thing. You can have your criticisms of Kiwi Farms. You can criticize Kiwi Farms. You can also respect some things about Kiwi Farms. But you don't have to be pro or anti-KF. You can just recognize that there are some things you hate about it and some things you respect about it. You don't have to pick a side and be a gay fucking troon or a fucking cultist Dear Feeder supporter. You don't have to be either side. No one's fucking making you get down on the ground and be like, yeah, no, Josh is my king, or I've been misgendered. You don't have to fucking do that. Why are there no independent people who are just fucking normal in their attitude towards Kiwi Farms? Why can't there just be some people who are independent of all of that and recognize both sides as fucking gay? Fuck's sake! So, when Godwinson was tweeting all this shit about Josh, I'm turning around and I'm thinking, no one cares. I don't care about the pro-KF people, I don't care about the anti-KF people. I think they're all cringe, okay? That doesn't mean that I support Josh. That just means I don't support your 6-year war with him because it's gay. Godwinson took that as a personal slight. Only someone who's severely mentally ill would turn around and say, Elaine being neutral towards Kiwi Farms is a personal offense to me. Sorry? How is this a personal offense to you, Godwinson? Just because I'm neutral towards a website? I'm sorry, but he went through none of the shit that I went through with Kiwi Farms. Even though I technically made a bunch of deepfakes, there was actual CP released of me alongside the deepfakes that I didn't post myself. There was also multiple defamation. I was harassed for years. It's my decision what I do with the fact that I was targeted like that. If anything, it should be up to me how I deal with that and whether I forgive the people that did it or not. That isn't fucking Godwinson's decision. That isn't Godwinson's decision. He went through fucking nothing. He didn't get fucking harassed, defamed. If anything, everyone supported Godwinson and worshipped him as his king when Josh was still friends with him. Yeah, I'm the bad person for deciding a different stance on the people that abuse me. Apparently that makes me a bad person. Isn't that fucking interesting, right? How Godwinson thinks he has a say in whether I forgive the people that abuse me or not. Funny, right? I also want to point out that I find it, like, kind of interesting that Godwinson says he supports Ralph, but he's out here, like, avowing attacking Josh. I mean, Ralph and Josh made up, so Godwinson, what's your plan with that? Like, do you think... Why is... This just proves that Godwinson, above everything, would put his hatred for Josh first, which is weird. I'm unreally drunk, but I'm going to continue for another half hour. So, I'm fucked, man. You don't have to hate Josh or support Josh. You can just be independent of everything and say, I don't care enough to start a crusade against Josh, but I also don't care enough to support Josh. That was my stance, okay? That does not mean I support Johnny Josh, but Godwinson took that to mean that that's my stance. And I just want to point out for everyone that thinks that Godwinson is... Look, I understand his whole... half-truths, half-lies. I do my half-truths, half-lies myself. I do that shit myself. I get it. But at the same time, it's a bit of a big fucking lie to not tell everyone that you're still friends with PPP while you're publicly out here simping for Ralph. That's a little snaky. I'm just gonna say it. I need to pee again, so please give me a second. No half measures. Jesus. I also, I just don't understand, okay? Because for some reason, like, Godwinson knows all of the stuff that Ethan Ralph has been called, Ethan Ralph, that Nick Fuentes, I'm so quick, I know I'm really fast, is based, but Godwinson knows all the stuff that's come out about Nick Fuentes recently. Nick Fuentes has been quite literally using Ali Alexander to essentially molest children. And Godwinson knows that he's been doing that. He knows that that Nick Fuentes has been using multiple people to attack kids. But Godwinson decided that that isn't as important as his hatred for Josh. Godwinson has made more posts about Joshua Moon than he has about Nick Fuentes. How can we say that Godwinson supports Ralph when 90% of his posts well, 90%, but like the majority of his posts recently have been more about Joshua Moon and not about Nick Fuentes. Like, look, I'm not in love with Josh. I don't even support Josh. But even I can say, like, come on, man, it's pretty obvious that your hatred against Josh is more important than like calling out Nick. He can say that he supports Ralph all he wants, but at the end of the day, he cares more about A-logging Josh than he does about his hatred for Nick Fuentes. And it's just retarded. Like, you don't have to support Josh to recognize that this man's vendetta against Josh seems to take priority against everything else. He literally blocked me and put aside his hours he spent on the phone with me in favor of his vendetta against some website owner, some like fat sysadmin in Serbia. Fuck's sake. Like, and it's just, like, the other thing I want to say is, as much as Godwinson's a snake, at the same fucking time, Josh, Godwinson isn't friends with Zoom. Zoom called into a show and Godwinson's never read his thread. He doesn't know anything about him. Just because Zoom called in doesn't make them best friends, okay? I genuinely can say that Godwinson doesn't talk to Zoom. But at the end of the day, there's a whole lot of shit that Godwinson lies about. And I get the whole half-truths thing, but some half-truths just are fucking snaking. And I was the one who actually convinced him to come back to the sector. And Godwinson! Is that... Let me just check that's a real Godwinson. Okay. That is not the real Godwinson. But... That is not the real Godwinson. What the fuck? But... Okay. I'm fucking very, very drunk. And I'm not gonna do what Godwinson did and stream myself while fucked up. So we're gonna stream for another 8 minutes. Oops. And then I'm gonna go to bed, okay? Should I chug the rest of this? Is Britbong here? Hey, Britbong! Okay. So, let's keep in mind that even Ralph and Josh are now friends. Godwinson spends all day tweeting about how much he hates Josh, despite the fact that he's Ethan's friend. So technically he's snaking on Ethan's friend. He's also still friends with PPP, and he's going to Astrid's studio in the summer. That's what he told me anyway. You can not believe me all you want. I don't give a fuck. At the end of the day, my reputation is that I'm a crazy schizo, blah, 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 blah. I know that. You all think I'm mentally ill. That's fine. But I said what I said, and I said what I heard. And at the end of the day, I'm not here to push anyone's narratives. I don't give a fuck if Godwinson hates Josh. I am not going to take part in a 6-year war against Joshua Moon because I don't care enough. So at the end of the day, Council of Evil is still fucking pedophiles. America First are still fucking pedophiles. I support Ralph all the time. I completely stand with Ralph against Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes is a disgusting pedo. So is Ali Alexander. All his friends should be called out. They are vile fucking people. And I think that ultimately comes above everything I've said in this stream. Please remember, whether you support Godwinson, whether you support Josh or not, whether you support any of these people, our priority is America First and everything that they've been outed for. At the end of the day, Nick Fuentes has done absolutely despicable fucking things. He has used people like Ali Alexander, who's a literal Pajit, to molest kids. Like, that's what he's doing, isn't it? Nick Fuentes is using Ali Alexander on a bait to get kids into America First to groom them. That is 100% the priority here. I don't care about Josh. I don't care about KF. I don't care about Godwinson. I don't care about all these people. My priority is on that. And everyone else, let me find my lips out. I'll find it after. But everyone else can say, we hate Godwinson. We hate Ralph. We hate all these people. And I know some people are just jumping on a bandwagon and saying they hate America First because everyone else hates America First. But as genuinely, from my heart, I genuinely, it really does make me sick. The stuff that I found out about Ali Alexander and about the fact that Ethan Ralph, that like all of these people, like Nick Fuentes, his hatred of Ethan Ralph recently has just been because Ethan exposed the fact that Ali Alexander and all these other people are being used as bait to go and molest kids. So I think that takes priority above everything else, because at the end of the day, my general stance has been completely anti-sexual exploitation, especially with children. But in general, that is the priority. And I think we should all put America First and their disgusting behaviour and calling that out above Janny Josh, Kiwi Farms, all of that stuff. So, as far as I'm concerned, Godwinson's hatred of Josh is really low priority. If anything, I think it's snaky towards Ralph, who's recently made up with Josh. I don't think that stuff's important. And I think that Godwinson putting his stuff about Josh above America First is fucked up. Anyway, I'm incredibly fucking drunk. And I'm going in a circle. And I'm so aware of that. And I'm sorry. I have tried to hold it together. And this is whack. But I'm going to stream in 2 days. My thoughts on Godwinson are as follows. I really, really, really did support him. I really liked him. But at the same time, I'm not going to change my viewpoints for Godwinson. I'm not going to turn around. I'm not going to say, yeah, let's spend the next 6 years A-logging Josh because Godwinson doesn't like him. I think that Godwinson prioritizing his hatred of Godwinson doesn't have a wife or a kid. Just for the record. But I think Godwinson prioritizing his hatred of Josh over America First is retarded. And I'm incredibly drunk. And I'm going to embarrass myself if I don't end this in 2 minutes. So... oh no! But I'm gonna stream more more frequently, because for some reason people watch my streams. I don't know why, because I'm horribly unlikable and I have a horrible reputation. But people do want to see me stream more recently. So I will be doing that. I will probably stream in a few more days. Maybe it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I'll probably stream on Wednesday. Thank you very much for coming to the stream. Hello, Pony Panda. I really missed you. I thought Pony Panda disavowed me after what happened with Post, but I'm glad to see he didn't. Or she didn't. But I'm fucking drunk as shit. And I'm gonna embarrass myself and not all the people I hate, which is bad. So I'm gonna end the stream. Thank you for coming. Pony Panda, I thought you stopped talking to me because of the graph post thing, but I'm glad to see you didn't. Oh, here's the other thing I want to point out about Godwinson. He says that I'm disavowed, but all the content regarding Chud Buds he got from me, all the shit about Claire Bear, all the shit about Josh. Who do you think gave him that shit? It was me. So he can say that I'm disavowed all he wants, but he relied on me for his content. So... did I step up? I don't know if I stepped up. I know I'm not likable. I know people are going to think I'm lying about everything as usual. I really understand that. I know that people have a lot they don't like about me. But honestly, I'm trying my best. I liked Godwinson. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to be a puppet for his hatred against Josh. I don't fucking like Josh either. I don't hate him though. But I'm not going to spend the next 2 years of my life A-logging him on Twitter because that's not important. And I think calling Nick out for being a pedophile and America First is way more important than whatever his vendetta against Josh is. But thank you very much for coming. I'm getting better from my hypermetabolism. I know I still look skinny. For some reason, when I wear clothes, I look skinnier than when I am in my bikini. But considering how drunk I am, I know that I should end this before I become Kino Dogme 2007 levels of embarrassing. Thank you for coming. I'm going to stream on Wednesday. I think today's Monday. Wednesday or Thursday, I'm going to do another stream. But just to let you know, Captain Cornflake, I haven't been impersonating anyone on Twitter. I don't know who it is. But thank you everyone for coming. Please give me your feedback on what you want to see more streams on. And thank you very much for watching the absolute state of whatever the fuck this was. And fuck Flamenco, he's a pedo. And fuck Nick Fuentes, he's also a pedo. Good night!